the branding and the clarification between gamification and game-based learning, because you're sort of walking back and forth between the two, I think. And how can this understand the distinction, help explain some of the concepts you're talking about? And the second one he talks about, Joey Lee at Columbia Teachers College talks about gamifying the learning environment versus gamifying the content. And how do you see the distinction working in learning environments? Should we leverage the students to create escape rooms instead of the teachers? So he's got like 4 questions in there.
There are. Gamification versus kind of using game elements to kind of engage with the content. At least for me, my approach with it is, oftentimes gamification is using some of the elements that have some short-term engagement for people participating. So you think about summer reading programs with points, and you get your stars and you fill up your thing. But how much is that impacting kind of the longer-term goals of what's going on? Versus taking, and that's like a layer that's put on top. Versus taking game elements and making them an inseparable and integral part of how you interact with and engage with curriculum and content. And I think there's more value in the latter part, because then you are exploring in a playful and engaging way curricular concepts and skills that draw on much more of the intrinsic motivation and create this kind of safe space of play that, kind of when we play, there's a safe space that's created that we can try and explore and fail and come up with new strategies. And I think there's so much more value to that than necessarily kind of doing a layer of some of the gamification things of points and badges and leveling up. Not that there's necessarily anything, it's the outcome of what you're trying to do and how fully engaged across the length of your project and your scope that kind of what you're trying to do. I don't do much gamification, so I can't speak too deeply to that. Just from my experience of working with kids in the classroom and using games to engage them, kind of that's where I'm coming from.